Broadcasting Service.
Let me hit record real quick.
The fingerprints on your screen look like an entire landscape.
Shh, be quiet.
Well, you're not going to want to use this audio.
Shh. Starting.
And we're live.
Welcome to PBS, fellas.
What's your name?
Nick and Topher edition.
Your name's Topher?
My name is Topher.
Nice to meet you, Topher. My name's Nick.
Nice to meet you, Nick.
Where are the boys at?
Where are the boys? The boys are all the way up in Nashville.
Traders.
Yeah. They're like having some meeting of the minds over there.
They're having a meetup about meetups.
Oh, we might actually have like
The meta
4 or
meetup.
5 viewers if they're able to watch
Yeah.
online.
Are you boys
yeah.
watching in Nashville, Nash Vegas?
Hi, Car.
Shout out to Nashville Park
Shout out to Tristan.
if you guys
Kyle.
are watching.
Who else is over there?
think
Tristan,
that's
Kyle,
it.
Carr.
Austin, Tristen, Carr.
So we know who to put on the traders list.
Yeah, so everybody's gone this week at a meetup, even though they picked the wrong week to leave because we had a hell of a lineup for meetups this week. We had Lightning Developers Meetup Wednesday.
Oh yeah, back
And
to
then,
back.
Yeah, Thursday back to back. We had BitDevs, which both were really good turnouts. Like
Yeah. No, BitDevs was great. LitDevs.
LitDevs,
was great.
Let's go in chronological order. Let's talk LitDevs first.
Let's talk LitDevs.
Yeah, we had a senator come to town randomly. We met Ron Wyden. Did I say it right? Yeah. You can tell how much I follow politics.
Senator Wyden.
Senator, Mr.
What else we have?
And we have
A voltage.
a voltage.
Oh yeah, that's true. Shout out to Voltage.
Shout out. Voltage. Logan is still alive. Come over here. Give a shout out to Voltage because he did not die last week.
Yeah.
Logan's alive.
Shout out
it's,
to Logan.
it's entirely because of voltage that I am still breathing.
Yep.
The node brought
That's
him
it
back
right
to
there.
life. So he was in the bathroom last week because he ate a spicy chip. The reason he stayed alive was because of his voltage node. He had to get back to it because he had to rebalance his lightning channel because his liquidity was all out of balance. So he had to also go to his LM bits node and play with some of the nice extensions they have.
We just hit reboot on Logan,
Yeah,
and you booted right back up.
you don't got to boot your voltage node though. They keep it up for you.
They keep it up for you, unless you're delinquent and you don't pay.
Well, that's just,
Then they won't reboot
That's
it.
just good bookkeeping.
Yeah. It's
Shout
an
out.
interesting way that they handle that. I think it's kind of cool. Basically, they'll let your node keep running until it needs to reboot for some update.
I'm
or
pretty
something.
sure one of the guys, Suhil, I'm pretty sure he was delinquent for months, and they still let him run his node. So they're very generous. I think he has like a $7 fee that he hasn't been paying, and his node still runs. I don't think it uses it much, so
It's still going though.
yeah, it's still going strong.
This is a zombie lightning node.
Voltage
Sitting out on the
loves
network.
developers. You can go delinquent on your bills, and they let you run. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me.
That is not the ad read.
Forgiveness. They have accident forgiveness.
No, but they're really cool over there. I mean, they're all developers. Everybody working over at Voltage is really cool. They're part of the space. So yeah, they'll go easy on you.
They will.
But you really should pay your Voltage bill on time.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about LitDevs? That's
I
kind of
do.
the first fun thing that happened on Wednesday.
I want to talk about that cool list that Constantine put together for LitDevs.
Do
that
you
I
have a
can't
link?
seem to get access
Do you have a link to it? Come up here and give us the link and say hi to the camera.
Or just like shoot it into the Twitter feed or the Telegram chat. Or we should start using Enigma.
We should
Try
actually.
and make Enigma.
But yeah, for those of you that aren't familiar, Austin has several Bitcoin meetups per month. I think we're up to like 4 now, depending on the month.
Way more than 4.
But Lightning Developers Meetup is one of the newer ones, and it's all about the Lightning Network. We're lucky enough to have the host, Lisa and Ben. You know, Lisa literally works on the protocol level at Core Lightning, so she hosted this week. Ben works at Unchained. He's deep into Lightning too, so we're
And
lucky.
into Scala.
Yeah, the other Ben.
Oh,
Ben Worsley, yeah.
We have a lot of
We have
Bens.
we have
to
a
keep
Ben
track
that does a
of.
BitDevs. We have a Ben that does a LitDevs. The other Ben, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben got a haircut. It looks good, buddy. If you're watching, looking good.
Oh yeah. I like the new look for Ben. It's really
Yeah,
sharp.
12 inches he donated to the locks or hair, whatever.
Yeah, Ben's legit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ben's Protopians meetup as well.
Yeah. There's another interesting meetup too. Protopians. Nothing to do with Bitcoin, but more about just freedom in general. I think
And
Austin
helping
went to one.
society, like ways you can actively contribute to society. So
Pro-
it's supposed to be like a practical.
Yeah, you're pro humans.
You're pro-topians.
Practical
whatever
though, not
utopian is.
utopia. That's fake shit that'll never happen. Protopian is like shit you can actually do to make it happen.
Exactly.
Anyways, you got the list of stuff they went over at LitDevs.
Oh yeah, Constantine shot it over for base58btc.notion.site if you want to follow along. Oh, and you can see it. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we already touched on Enigma.
Yeah.
Enigma with an A. .io.
Brill Satan
Brill Satan.
wrote it.
Yeah.
I think Brill doxed himself.
Herself.
Herself.
Itself. But yeah, it's like a really cool Telegram clone that does not require accounts or sign up. You just open up a web browser and you go.
Yeah, and you get it's all based on Bitcoin public-private keys. So you're basically a public key is your identity. I believe Brill just integrated LN Bits, so you get a custodial wallet as well. If you're familiar with legends.lnbits.com, you can basically get a bunch of extensions, and he baked it into the wallet, just kind of like a little iframe. So yeah, it's a way to talk to people like Telegram and pay them if you enjoy their content.
Or just send notes back and forth.
Yeah,
It's just like you open up the site and then boom, you're in.
yeah.
It's great. It's
What
the
else
future.
happened at LitDevs?
The mempool.space. So they integrated Lightning support into their site.
Oh, that's old
And-
news. It feels like it happened months ago. Was that just within this month?
Well,
guess
I'm
it
just
is.
reading what's off the list, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them talking about it earlier in the month, but it's still worth mentioning because it's really cool.
Well, that was fun because right when they implemented the Lightning Explorer, I just started to go to all the nodes. Like I actually went to Stacker News' node and was kind of peeking like how much money was in the Stacker News stuff and see who everyone. You can see all the channels they have open for the public nodes. I went to like at Galoy, we have I believe our node is lnd1.bitcoinbeach.com. So it's just interesting to see who all is connected
Show
to
this off
who.
the camera.
Our node at the Bitcoin Beach
see
wallet
that?
is highly connected to. What is that? Oh, the feed.
The map.
Oh, the map.
This
Yeah,
is how we're all connected.
yeah, and it's super fun to see who's connected to who. Like at Bitcoin Beach, they're highly connected to River and Strike because those are where most of the transactions go. Yeah, it's really cool to visualize that.
How do
And
I
at-
send stuff to you?
At
Just through
LitDevs
Telegram?
yesterday too, Lisa. But yeah, just being able to visualize the network is cool because it's really just 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. You can see how everybody connects to everybody.
There was this cool graph that she brought up, which was lightning channel capacity. I'm trying to find, maybe it was lightning nodes per ISP. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is an interesting one because if you look at the graph, you have this little option off to the bottom right called sort by nodes or by capacity.
Yeah.
And so if you sort by nodes, you get this really cool circle chart that shows that the distribution of nodes is actually really, really good. It's very decentralized, which is good to see.
Yeah.
But then you go over to capacity and you sort by capacity. And then it gets really interesting because apparently Google Cloud, which has such a small amount of overall nodes that I can't even find it on the chart. But when you,
Yeah.
yeah,
Probably like Bitfinex is the big wow in Lightning right now. It's
probably an exchange.
We got. Yep. Yeah. And it's like kind of deceiving too, because if you're trying to be more private about your node, like I wouldn't want my IP address to be out there public. So a lot of people could potentially run like a proxy or VM or a VPN. So your IP address looks like you're in like Estonia, but you're really in like Texas. So it's, it's just a general assumption on where the nodes are at.
That's true.
It's not absolute.
They're profiling the IP address by known blocks
Yeah.
owned by ISPs.
And it doesn't include any of the Tor nodes, obviously, because you don't know where those are located by design. So,
I just want to know what Google Cloud is doing with that 1600 BTC.
I mean, it's frickin' Bitfinex and River and Kraken.
Yeah.
That's where they're hosted.
You have to ask Mark.
Where do you guys host Kraken,
where,
Mark?
where is
You should know,
Kraken
right?
hiding the
Well,
gold?
we can find it. Just go to their website, get their IP address, and see who owns that range. Probably a good enough assumption.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool that they launched that. So check it out. It's on mempool.space. And
What else
next
happened
item
at
on the list.
LitDevs. What else fun that happened? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I lost my list because I don't know how to use the back button on the browser.
Should we go to the next big event that happened over the week in Austin?
What would be the next big event?
Dude, if you're not in Austin and you want to come here on a trip, I know we have. You're not an Austin guy, right? London. So yeah, people are coming
nice.
from all around the world just to come and see what's going. Why did you come to Austin? Just to see the Bitcoin scene and hang out and part of it. Yeah. So if you're watching online, just check out Meetup and listen to this podcast because there's always stuff going on. Like this was an extremely busy week in Bitcoin with LitDevs and devs and PBS and yay! Hey guys, Tristen, Austin, and Carr.
Hey, everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow.
But yeah, so the second big event in Austin that happened this week was last night. The big BitDevs. We had quite a show up. Like how many people showed up? I'd say 70 to 100. Or no, I guess it wasn't huge. It was like 70 maybe.
It was still a good amount.
It was a good amount.
Still
the right
packed,
amount.
like at least half the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
I was worried that not a lot of people were going to show up because they're out in other parts of the country,
Yeah.
going to other events. But no,
Yeah.
a lot of people did show up.
We
It's
had-
pretty cool to see.
We had Parker Lewis there. He was going to stick his roots here. I believe he was invited to go to Nashville, but he had to make sure he stuck at his roots here in Austin for all the activities this week. But yeah, it was a good BitDevs. We had Ben the Carmen, Justin Moon, and Buck are the hosts of BitDevs, and they're all working on amazing projects. Ben the Carmen at the Bitcoin Company. He's also working on a protocol called Vortex. We have Justin Moon working on Fedimint, and then Buck works at Unchained.
Yeah,
So we got the heavy hitters.
always
here
shows up in a
in a
stylish suit.
Yeah. It's looking good.
Yeah.
Jimmy said that too. We saw Jimmy's song one time. He had the cowboy hat on and a suit, and I asked him, Jimmy, why you all dressed up? He's like, you just gotta look good. We gotta bring the style up in Bitcoin. He said so.
That's true.
So
we
look
have
good.
to up the dapper levels.
Look good. You never know when a senator's gonna roll into town.
That's true.
Randomly. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that later. But yeah, let's talk about BitDevs.
BitDevs. Well, I have to admit that I was actually like locked into my laptop.
Oh, you were
refactoring
multitask?
code.
Oh.
Yeah. I looked up once or twice and I saw that they were talking about some like cryptography stuff.
There was an interesting thing about BitDevs is you get a lot of different people with different backgrounds showing up, and there's a local guy in town who's actually like a legit PhD cryptographer writing hardcore academic papers. So he's always good because people, even Justin Moon, they go to him like, hey, what is this cryptography thing? We don't understand it. But he, I think, just recently published a paper.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it.
I can't either. It was very confusing, but it's cool.
Cycling between two elliptic curves.
Something.
So, like,
yeah,
never
Merkle
mind.
trees.
I'm not
yeah,
even going
yeah,
to begin to try and describe it.
But anyways, yeah, it's just cool the people that show up. But yeah, there was a lot of talks about hardware wallet, and there was like the talk about, when you have a hardware wallet and you have all the descriptors about like what are these UTXOs, what does it belong to?
Yeah.
But maybe you
hard
want
to keep track of all
Yeah,
that
you
stuff.
want to keep track of it. It's all encrypted on the local hardware wallet. But then maybe you want to back it up and put it on like, let's say, to go from a treasure to like a cold card.
Yeah.
There's not a common language they speak, so you can't just port it over with all the extra UTXO descriptor data. You're basically shit out of luck. You have to manually copy it or put it in an Excel file.
This
So
is how you know we're all hopeless engineers
Yeah.
working on this stuff, because we do have plenty of standards for exporting and importing keys and
Yeah.
key management.
Which is good.
But when it comes to putting labels on
Yeah.
those keys so you know what they're for, it's
don't
like,
need-
who needs standards for that?
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's very contentious. Like, I don't think we'll ever actually have a standard people agree on. We'll probably need in-between tools to more or less convert it over from like a treasure descriptor to like a cold card descriptor.
Yeah,
But
somebody
there's-
proposed a BIP for that.
Yeah, they're
I think that's
proposing
what
a
we're
BIP
talking
on how
about.
to standardize that, but it's, you know, it's
It
like
should.
it's like herding cats. We'll see if it goes or not, but it's interesting shit going on.
Yeah, they were announcing like Musig 2 was almost to 1.0, which for those that don't understand what Musig is, it's just supposed to be this cool and easy way for
What's it
developers
short
to do
for? It's short
multiple
for
signatures.
Okay,
Yeah.
so literally what it sounds like.
Yeah. So like because we now have this thing called Schnorr signatures, which is basically it's a really easy way to aggregate a bunch of signatures together from different people.
How does
Musig
that
is
help-
kind of like the
how does that
library
help
we're
me
supposed
as
to
a
use.
normie pleb? What does that do for me?
I don't know if you want to like run like a gambling operation with a bunch
Hell
of
yeah.
different people. That have to
Definitely,
sign
I
them
definitely want to
anyway.
do that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're like doing like complicated multi-signature setups.
Or it
it's like
just
really
makes-
hard to implement in Bitcoin.
Or just for
until now.
privacy and security, every transaction can look the same, right? Because right now, when you go to a block explorer, you can kind of tell like this is a normal Bitcoin transaction. Oh, that's a Lightning channel somebody's opening up.
Yeah,
right?
and you know that because like you have this complicated script.
yeah, this Bitcoin script.
And 90% of that script is just juggling signatures around.
Yeah, or
because
just
it's hard.
if else statements and signatures, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But the cool thing with Musig is it's going to be a library that just makes it really easy for pleb devs
Pleb devs.
to just join signatures together, rip them apart, and just play around with multi-signature setups. Yeah.
And it just looks like any other Bitcoin transaction.
Yeah,
You don't know
you
what
can
the-
get it to where it
You
just
don't know
looks
what
like a
kind of
regular
gambling
transaction.
operation we're running here. Just joking.
Yeah, it just looks like I'm sending you some sats.
All right. This is what we do every Friday. Is there any feds in here? If they are, stand up. All right, we got.
Yeah, where'd our
all
Fed
right,
guy
we
go?
only got one Fed here today. They have to identify themselves according to the internet. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I feel like we're slacking if we don't have the feds in here.
well, we were talking to somebody who works for the federal government earlier today.
Oh yeah,
Should we talk about that? That was fun.
oh yeah. So Senator Ron Wyden paid us a visit over at the Commons.
Yeah. So earlier today, I was just working out at the gym, and I get a message from John from Zap right over here. He's like, "Hey, dude, free pizza at Bitcoin Commons, Detroit style pizza," which I love. Detroit style pizza, it's the best. If you've never had Detroit style pizza, eat it. It's between New York flat style and Chicago thick style. It's a medium style. So that's why I went. And then he's also like, "Oh, there'll be a senator there as well, too." So they,
Yeah, so John got to you.
yeah.
Kaylee rung me up.
Kaylee.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people there. We won't dox anybody, but Bitcoin Commons was bumping today with people. Like we all came for Ron Wyden and/or pizza. So the story of why Ron Wyden came, I talked to Parker real quick, but I think it was last minute. Yesterday, somebody rung up somebody at Unchained and like, "Hey, Ron Wyden's going to be in town. Can he stop by?" So if you don't know who Ron Wyden is, there's a really good Bitcoin Magazine article about him. But essentially last year, when they were trying to pass that big ass infrastructure bill, they didn't have any money to pay for it. Go figure. The government doesn't have any money to pay for it. So basically with the infrastructure bill, they're like, all right, maybe these people in crypto or Bitcoin, maybe they can foot the bill for $50 billion, I believe he said. So they introduced, just at the very bottom, they tried to slip it in there.
That's how they do
They
it.
call it the infrastructure bill,
So
but really it was
sneaky.
the tax bill, how we can tax everybody. So they slipped in a little piece about taxing Bitcoin and crypto and there was stuff in there that made it basically a lot of shades of gray. Like if you run a node, you might have to pay a ton of taxes. Even if you're not doing transactions, you're just validating transactions like my node at home, you might be liable for taxation. So that was like a big pushback. And we had obviously our normal cheerleaders, Cynthia Lummis, Ron Wyden, which was kind of a wild card because he's actually a Democrat. So it's interesting. He was, for, the freedom of Bitcoin. Who was the third one? The third guy. There was a third senator who was pro that bill. Obviously, Ted Cruz,
Do we get Lummis?
Lummis,
Wyden.
Wyden.
There was Cruz.
Toomey.
Okay.
Yeah. So essentially,
We're gaining our foothold.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this. It's cool to see.
what else happened?
What's up, Ned?
Senate Energy Committee, is that playing a role in this at all?
Probably. So he did talk briefly about. He was pretty bullish on what they're doing out in West Texas with natural flare gas mining. So Wyden did acknowledge that. He's like, yeah, this is good. You guys are capturing all this stranded gas and mining Bitcoin, doing something good with it. So it's surprising to hear a Democrat give like a thumbs up for,
Yeah, it
you know,
checks all the
gas flare
boxes.
but yeah, other than that, so Ron Wyden, actually, I didn't know much about him, so I did a little bit of research about his history.
Ooh, what kind of dirt do you have?
Oh, I have dirt now. So he actually is, I don't trust any politicians personally, but, if they do have a track record of doing the right thing, I'll maybe give him a little bit of points for that. But are you guys familiar with the Aaron Schwartz story? You know who Aaron Schwartz is, anybody? Most people?
Yeah. I'm
So
very familiar with
Aaron
that.
Schwartz was the co-founder of Reddit. He invented the RSS standard.
Yeah.
Just all around fucking internet genius. There's a good documentary called The Internet's Own Boy. It's about
Yeah.
Aaron Swartz, but tragically he killed himself because he got caught up with this thing called Sopa.
He got railroaded by a federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
Who would not drop the case, even though the university did not want
He
to
was
prosecute.
he was a scapegoat, one of the first scapegoats really in tech in general, like just software development. So what he did was there was this American journals, right? So universities get funded publicly. They do all this research, which is meant for public domain. But at MIT, this data was on a server in a closet, private, so it wasn't public domain. So the people deserved to have access to this data, right? It was open research that the people paid for. So what Aaron did is he snuck in the closet, this server closet at night at MIT every night for a week, and he just put a thumb drive in the server, copied all the journals down, and at the end of it, he just released it online. So he did nothing wrong other than giving out public data, which is already public. But the university and a lot of people publicly funded. I mean that sounds public domain to me.
But it's not though. That's kind of the statement he was making. Is it should be public domain. The public is funding it, and it should be widely available. But it was actually owned by MIT.
Okay.
Public funded. I think that was the protesting.
So yeah, we've got more clarification. So apparently it wasn't technically public domain knowledge because even though it was publicly funded, the university thought it belonged to them, right? So he was.
I mean, by like legal definition, according to the courts, right? It did belong to them.
They were selling it. There was a whole
Yeah.
there was a whole online application that was built where you have to pay to get these journals and you could download them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were actually selling them.
Yeah. So the university.
Being made available, but they were just forcing people.
Yeah, so there was a huge conflict of interest because the university, I've got clarification here for people. The university was selling it to people. They were making a lot of money off these documents, even though they were publicly funded. So he was basically protesting. This belongs to the people. And he got the book thrown at him. He was a scapegoat. So basically, there was this bill called the Sopa Act. It stands for Stop Online Piracy Act.
Oh, those were the days.
Those were the days. This was what 20...
The MPAA would pay the government to kick down your door.
2011, 2012. Yeah, so basically Ron Wyden was one of the senators who killed the bill. Like, he didn't want it to go through. He was pro freedom of speech, pro code, pro what, Aaron was petitioning.
He's generally just all around pro technology.
Yeah. So
politician.
interesting enough, yeah, he's pro technology. So that's one thing I believe he was on the right side of it, Ron Wyden. So he told that story today a little bit to us. What else did Ron talk about?
Well, he talked about essentially he wanted to have like an open discussion with us.
Yeah.
Although it was brief.
Yeah.
But,
But what was interesting, you missed the beginning. So right when Ron Wyden came in, there was a bunch of us.
Yeah, he was going around.
Yeah, he went
talking.
around the room asking everybody like, hey, what are you working on? So I told him like, hey, have you heard of like what's going on in El Salvador? He's like, yes. He's like, he's like, yeah, I know they legalized Bitcoin as legal tender. So I'm like, cool. I'm like, my company, we help write some of the software for that. We help some of the local people get, remittances easier from the United States. And then I asked him if he was a surfer. I I was just kind of fucking around with him. Like, you surf? I'm like, you look like you're a surfer. No, he's a 73-year-old man, pretty frail, but he looked like he was in good shape. And he's like, nah, I don't surf. I'm like, you should go to Bitcoin Beach and surf in El Zante. So I just kind of joked with him. But yeah, I just kind of gave him the elevator pitch about that. And he seemed like he comprehended it. And he's like,
Yeah.
like,
He was
cool.
into it.
Yeah.
He was really into Bitcoin fixing healthcare.
Oh, yeah. So Andy, I can't say his last name, Crowd Health guy.
Yeah, the
I think we
crowd
talked
health
about
guy.
that. He was there. Yeah, Andy Crowdhealth.
Yeah.
Like John Zappright.
Yeah, in the Bitcoin space, it's your first name and then your company.
Yeah, I'm Nick Galoy.
Yeah.
You're just Topher because you're the only one. Topher.
Yeah. Topher professor, I don't know.
Yeah, we got to talk about that later too. But yeah, so then after everyone talked about what their companies were doing, I think Parker and the crew gave him a tour of the Bitcoin Commons, and then he came back and it was just a 20-minute. He talked for 10 minutes, then he just asked questions. And one of the Unchained guys, we won't dox him, but he came back with like a really good question at the end. Do you remember?
Oh, he doesn't want to be doxxed?
I don't know who does or doesn't.
Oh, well, he was
probably
he basically made a speech about how, if you're a node operator
Yeah.
and you're just running software on your computer,
It's freedom of speech.
it's freedom of speech.
Yeah,
You're
between
sending
nodes.
messages back and forth between other people's computers.
Yeah.
So whether or not there's value attached to that, it's like, what business is that of the government? It's still protected
Exactly.
by speech.
And Ron was like, holy shit, like I've never heard this before. This is amazing. So I think they're actually going to write this down in format so he can like use it later if he's doing legislation. But he was like really intrigued by it. So I believe we have a communication path with Ron Wyden. So if anyone has anything they want to say, I think through the Unchained
Yeah.
crew, I think they're actually going to write up talking points like nodes are freedom of speech. So then when something
Ooh,
comes
that's a
up,
good one.
Ron can be like, all right, nodes are freedom of speech. Okay. And then he's like, he's got
Yeah,
his
well,
bullet
isn't
points.
money speech? Wasn't
Yeah.
that decided in some Supreme Court case?
I believe so.
Money is speech. So, yeah, if you want to help our allies in the Senate, fight for us.
Yeah. And
fight
he
for
seemed
Bitcoin.
like very much open to us teaching him. He kind of like, you guys teach me, like I'm available.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got staff that'll filter it through, but I feel like through Unchained and the relationship they built, we kind of have a direct line that it won't just go in the bottom of the pile to go to the top of the pile.
He made an interesting
So-
clip where he was giving out an example of kind of how he helps translate some of the technical stuff
Yes.
to his peers.
Yeah, he is kind of, because he is a technical-ish, as technical as you can be for a 73-year-old senator. He's
Yeah.
seen the rise of the internet and stuff.
He's hanging in there,
Yeah.
doing better than my grandma.
Yeah. I'd say he's probably in the top of the Senate of understanding technology.
But he had this quip about how something regarding like DNS servers.
Yeah.
And like that was being discussed in the chambers, I
Yeah,
guess.
way
and-
back in the 90s and
Yeah,
shit.
way back in the 90s. And he said, it's like, look, it's just like the phone book
Yeah.
of the internet. And it's like,
I'm
okay.
like, all right. I'm like, he passed the
Yeah,
test. Like, this
it's
guy.
pretty reasonable.
That's
Okay.
good. 73-year-old senator knowing what DNS is.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking good. Like, pretty fucking good.
So I feel like we need to give him like the terminology that he could use.
Yeah. We need to
help
make him like
educate
the
others.
quick index card of like nodes, good, freedom of speech. Bitcoin
Yeah.
nodes, boom. And then like Ethereum, shitcoin, send them to jail, security, boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's an interesting point kind of below all this where, crowd out guys weren't really around before, and because they were there, they're doing Bitcoin plus healthcare, and now they're in the room, that really caught his attention. Whereas
Yeah.
like other stuff, I might be like, okay, I kind of know it, but he latched on to the healthcare.
Oh, he really latched on to healthcare, mainly because I don't think there's been a lot of innovation in healthcare insurance specifically. And like this thing Crowd Health is doing is not insurance on technicals, the
But
technicalities.
that's like
of
a legal thing. That's
Yeah.
a legal
Not
issue.
so much- my point is, it's not so much, oh, you have to come in and be a developer and like
Yeah.
go degree this new thing on Bitcoin. come from like where you already are and, integrate Bitcoin into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a Bitcoin standard on where you already are, with your own experiences, and that would maybe get the interest of the next senator who is, in the Green Party or whatever.
Yeah.
By hitting all these different angles and points, like, yeah, these senators may, at their heart of it, be only interested in re-election and their current pet project and their donors.
Yeah.
They need to be very skeptical. But at some point, we're going to hit all of those pet projects just because we're going to be in literally everything. And then we're eventually going to be in their ledgers and
Yeah.
gold cards.
And it was cool because he was collecting pamphlets. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, some people he's like, I'm going to read this on the plane. Like, one of the guys gave him a copy of, I believe, Jimmy Song's book. Or
Bitcoin and the American Dream.
the book sprint they did when they wrote that. I think a bunch of people wrote the book. But yeah, so pretty much Ron Wyden is hopefully going to read Bitcoin and the American Dream. So
I hope so.
we'll have to watch him over the next year or so to see if any of this like soak in and like he puts any of that out in his speeches and stuff. So I
was
don't
a
really
very-
follow politics, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's a very bullish signal.
Yeah, it was bullish. It's cool.
Uh,
I think he's always been pro innovation and pro technology because he was even talking a little bit of shit about Biden. He's like, yeah, Biden administration threw this infrastructure bill, and he's like, all this shit in here is going to stifle innovation. So he's pretty, because he's seen the internet age in the 90s happen. So he's definitely protecting, like, hey, don't over-regulate, because if you do, we might miss the next innovation, which obviously is Bitcoin. Oh, I don't know.
yeah, I saw this on Bitcoin Magazine. Was this today?
No, that was old.
Oh, this is an old one.
An old one. Bitcoin Magazine, you say? Whitehouse.com or whitehouse.gov?
Oh, it's on.
Don't go to
I think I saw it on
whitehouse.com, it's
Stacker
porn.
News. Yeah, it's this White House framework for responsible development of digital assets.
Ooh, juicy.
Oh boy,
Juicy.
what is this all about?
Sounds like shitcoins.
Yeah, President Biden's March 9 executive order on ensuring responsible development. Blah 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 blah. This just.
Oh yeah, Nick Carter put something out. I guess he's coming back to the light for at least a second. Backstreet's back. All right. No, he's a shitcoiner. Yeah. Okay. So apparently Nick Carter put that out. Something out.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with these bullet points. So this report, you can see it on Stacker News. It's still on the top page. It's from the whitehouse.gov. It's their framework for responsible development of digital assets. Basically, their bullet points is encouraging existing regulatory bodies to just kind of continue doing what they're doing, but pursue it more aggressively. I know that Gary Gensler over at the SEC is a mixed bag for most people, but honestly, like, I think he does a good job. Like, he's basically said, like, hard line, Bitcoin is a commodity, Bitcoin's done it right.
Yeah.
And then if you're not Bitcoin, you're still sort of dubious, like, are you a security or not?
Yeah.
And Ethereum is not even, like, out of the doghouse yet.
And Gary's interesting because he did teach at MIT, and he sat in the back of some of the Taj Dryger's class on, how Bitcoin and Lightning works. Like, we even met Taj in real life during Bitcoin Plus Plus, and we asked him, like, hey, was Gary really in the back of your class just taking your, like, this fucking, SEC, this is before he was head of the SEC, like, he was just in the back of an MIT class taking Bitcoin classes, which, that's cool. Like, at least they're willing to learn, even if their opinions are whatever, at least they know the base knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah. He has a full lecture series on MIT OpenCourseWare.
Yeah, I was watching
YouTube.
one of Gary's courses, and there was like a based as fuck hardcore Bitcoin maximalist like chick in the back of the class, like, because he was using the terms blockchain and all this other shitcoinery, and she's like, no, it's just Bitcoin. Like, it's funny to hear like the back and forth.
Yeah, we need more maxis to invade the classrooms.
Hey, actually, segue. My friend over here is a professor at UT Austin.
Doing a little
Co-professor,
teaching.
Yeah, you and D++, right?
Yeah.
With
We
special
have,
guest Super.
With special guest Super Testnet,
Yeah.
who is teaching a workshop tomorrow as well.
Yes, here.
Yeah. So his workshop. So just to start off. So Super Testnet, he is teaching a workshop on Bitcoin script, which is going to be really, really cool. I've been working on it with him, and he's got like an amazing examples to show everyone. He's really cool teaching tools to really help people understand how Bitcoin script works, because Bitcoin does have smart contracts. It's a little harder to get into than Ethereum Solidity, but Bitcoin is like a much more secure platform,
It's for money.
and there's way more capital available.
Ethereum is
so,
for shitcoin scams.
yeah,
Bitcoin script is just money.
yeah. It's
Just
just
do more interesting shit with money.
Ethereum likes to add shit that causes contracts to break and lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Whereas in Bitcoin, we like to take things away
Yeah.
if we think they're too dangerous, because we really want it to be like the internet of money.
Yeah, so Bitcoin script helps enable things like opening a Lightning channel, right?
Yeah.
For now.
Payment channels, like complicated coin joins, multi-signature setups.
Yeah, if you were to have a
mixers.
vault at Unchained where it's like a 2 of 3 vault, that's a Bitcoin script is the technology that makes it work.
Yeah.
Within a transaction. So
And you can do like some really cool stuff now, like with Casa. Well, they'll like custody one of your signatures, so like they'll sign stuff with you.
Yeah.
And if you lose your keys, they'll help you recover your key.
Yep.
But you still hold
two.
custody.
You still hold 2 of them, so you could
Yeah.
basically take away access to their third key if you wanted to.
Yeah. So like you can, if you come up with like a really cool contract idea on Bitcoin, like you can literally create $100 million industry overnight.
That's how they're creating these side chains, right? That they're talking about. Like that's how Liquid works. And
Yeah, Liquid
Lightning.
network, drive chains, space chains, all the different types of chains, shadow chains.
Future shit.
They were talking about like a new type of chain.
Yesterday,
Yeah, BitDevs.
wasn't it the cryptography guy?
It's like a ghost chain or something.
yeah, I
It
don't
said
know.
something spooky for
It's
Halloween.
over my head, but we need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so Super.
Let's talk about your class, though. Yeah, Super's workshop tomorrow, Bitcoin script, and then after that, we're gonna go hit the Ladybird Lake for our Brotilla. 2 o'clock at the lake, Lunef Point. Get some sun, get some vitamin D, be healthy, take a break.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's always fun. I'm gonna attend a UT course. I'm just gonna put a hoodie on and sit in the back. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the doors are unlocked during school hours,
Plus,
so you
we
can
know
just
the
walk right in.
professors, so it's like,
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from walking into a class. Yeah, so they're moving us to, because we had like a packed classroom for the last lecture, so they're moving us to a bigger room.
so you base probably like 80% of the class is just people showing up.
Yeah,
But no, that's so. What is the class size you're teaching? Because you're like a big class, right?
it's 30 students.
That's pretty big for like a brand new course at UT.
Yeah, it's an experimental course,
Yeah.
so we didn't actually have any material
Do you
for the
know-
curriculum, so that's what I've been working on.
What is the origin story? I know D did a lot of work. Like, how did that even come to fruition? You know?
So I believe the story is that it was either Jimmy Song or some other educator in the space was going to teach the class, but they had to pull out because they just had other commitments, so it wasn't going to work out. And then D was able to come in and kind of like help salvage things.
Yes.
Maybe. Because he also, I think he's also teaching at another university too. So it might have
He
been
does a
just
lot.
too much.
He's doing a lot in El Salvador and stuff too.
Yeah, Jimmy's
So,
a busy
he's all
guy.
over.
He's in high demand.
But yeah, no, that's amazing. So how did you get involved with D?
So we already had a relationship where I was helping her with some of her demos that she was doing.
Yeah.
So she had this demo that she showed off at BTC++,
Yep.
which was really cool. It was
game?
basically demonstrating replace by fee.
Yeah, she made a
Yeah.
game, a video game. It was fun. She's teaching us this Bitcoin shit with a video game.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. Dee has like awesome like teaching examples and stuff.
Yeah.
She's a great educator. So she just hit me up and I said yes.
So what was your
Pretty much.
so what was your experience teaching your first class? It's like big, legit. This is a college, accredited university. Students are paying probably shit ton of money for this class.
Yeah.
What did it feel like teaching us plebs, or was it different?
So it's interesting. So we polled the students at the beginning of the class, and pretty much none of them were familiar with Bitcoin.
Wow.
Not
What is
one.
the demographic age range? Like 20s, 30s?
I
After
would
school?
say anywhere between 20 and 30. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're all post-grad students.
post-grad.
They all have jobs.
Does any of them say why they took it? Just like because they didn't know anything about Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, there's a couple students that did know about Bitcoin, but most of them, I think they just wanted to learn more about blockchains and smart contracts.
Okay, yeah. The official school name of it.
The official title of the class, yeah.
The Trojan
yeah.
horse. That's really a Bitcoin class, but the Trojan horse
Yeah.
was it's a blockchain and smart contract,
Yeah.
aka Bitcoin blockchain and Bitcoin scripted transactions.
Day one of class, learn what it means to get rug pulled. Yeah, usually it's the opposite. This time we, reverse rug. We pulled a reverse rug maneuver.
Yeah. So what was your first session about? You were like 3 sessions in, 4 sessions in class?
2 classes in. So we started with the Bitcoin white paper. I figured that was a good place to start. So we went over that.
Which we have a recording of that from last week's workshop, right?
Yeah, so I sort of kind of did that too here
Yeah.
for the workshop.
We're getting this class for free.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
let them know.
Yeah, it's great because like every class could also be a workshop here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably will be.
So we did the Bitcoin white paper, and it was interesting because they're all computer science grads, and they have a decent understanding of cryptography because they're the professor that I guess they have a class with that teaches cryptography, Sirium. He introduced
See the
them
guy
all.
that shows up here sometimes?
No, that's a different. Although there's an interesting relationship there, but no,
Okay.
they're not related.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're already taking a cryptography course, and so they have a basic understanding of it. So
Nice.
it kind of smooths things over
Yeah.
a little bit.
Which is interesting because we have the PBS and we do workshops every Saturday, and we actually, I don't know his name, maybe you know his name, but we have a professor from UT coming to our Saturday workshops at Pleb Lab, which is kind of hilarious. Like it's like, right?
Yeah. Oh, who is that?
I don't know who he is, but I'm pretty sure he's a professor, isn't he?
Is it Dan, like the guy that we get into like furious debates?
Yeah,
about
yeah.
stuff? Yeah. No, he's
he's not
yeah,
a
he's a
professor?
professor, but it's not at UT. It's
Oh,
another university that's south from here.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
But it's just funny, yeah. Like we have professors come and do just our little Pleb Lab workshop, so it's like, it's a great place to learn.
Yeah.
With your friends who know more shit than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Schooling
I'm very
professors.
bullish on more professors coming to Pleb Lab.
And Pleb Lab creating professors, or obviously you just sat down and did the proof of work, reading all the books, and
Yeah.
because you just read all Mastering Bitcoin, Programming Bitcoin. You sat down for half a year
All the
programming in
bibs.
Bitcoin, read all the
Yeah.
bibs,
Building projects.
did all. This is proof of work right here, people. It's a perfect specimen right here.
Perfect specimen. Why, thank you, Nick. Yeah, so it was really cool. So the next class that we're teaching is going to be on transactions.
Nice. That one I'm probably gonna sneak into in the back with a hoodie.
Yeah, we're going to get in depth on transactions and Bitcoin script. And so Super's going to be the guest lecturer going over Bitcoin script, and
Yes.
you're going to get a preview of his what he's going to be teaching tomorrow for the workshop.
Sweet. Come tomorrow, noon. Pleb Lab, 621 East
6th. Yeah.
Street. Is it East 6th Street?
It's East 6th Street.
East 6th Street. Or just go to Google Maps and type Pleb Lab. It shows
Dirty
up,
East.
which is hilarious. Just type in Pleb Lab. It shows up on Google Maps.
Yeah,
That's
who
funny.
pulled that off?
I don't know. No one knows. I think
I've been looking for it not all that long ago.
it just showed up like 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago. I think somebody said a meetup got posted with Pleb Lab in the address, and someone's like, maybe the Google algorithm crawls Meetup, and then if an address doesn't have a name associated to it, that's how somebody thinks it happened. But I don't know. I'm sure that's probably something to do with the lease. You know,
Well, that means now that Pleb Lab is on the map.
we are on the map, plebs.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What do we got on time? We got like
Moving
10
on up.
minutes. Oh yeah, I had another thing to talk about. Udemy. So Base 58 put all of their content out on Udemy. So if you want to learn, this is just another place to learn about all this stuff. They have a deep dive on Bitcoin protocol and transactions. A lot of stuff about SegWit. And it's meant, I don't think you need to be a programmer by trade. You can be like, Constantine would definitely be able to take it and probably kill the class. Like, it's for everybody. It's for the marketing folks, for the Bitcoiners, it's for the plebs,
I was actually able to
for the hardcore devs.
snag that class for free.
Were
while they
you?
were giving it out. Yeah.
Nice.
Lisa was doing a promotion and I
Well,
grabbed it.
You
'Cause I
gotta
stalk her Twitter.
you gotta support your fellow Bitcoiners and pay for the classes.
Well, I
Or-
will happily pay in other ways, but I can't pass up a free class on Udemy.
But yeah, she goes like very in depth. Like I watched part of the first course or two, but she just goes into like very basic general terms, like what is encoding? What does base 58 mean? Like it's actually, that's what the nice little Bitcoin address is, right? When you see it start with a 3 or a 1, that's a base, correct me if I'm wrong, because you teach this class. A Bitcoin address is a base 58 encoding of a public key or an XPub or a public key, right?
It's either, well, it depends.
Depends.
Because we've made a lot of changes. But a base 58 is an encoding of the script, the locking script,
Okay.
which is locked to your public key.
Okay.
Yeah,
So in a nutshell, yes.
yeah.
It's a
It's
Bitcoin-
why
it's
it's
a Bitcoin
a
address.
pay to pub key hash.
They like to shorten all those like P2WSH, P2SH, P2WS, P2TR. Like yeah.
Well, yeah,
Nerd
you
shit.
have you have pay to pub key hash, pay to script hash, pay to SegWit or pay to witness pub key hash, and pay to witness script hash.
Now
Then you have
to-
pay to
now-
script hash,
well, now
pay to witness
and all the
pub
new
key
shit
hash.
pay to Taproot. So
And now we have pay to taproot.
yeah, so it kind of
So there's
goes
many different ways to pay.
chronologically. I'm looking through the syllabus here, but yeah, it just goes through everything. Like it's good for everyone to know. Like even if you're just holding your own keys, it's good to know the basic knowledge so you don't lose your money by accident someday. So you might as well get the knowledge at a base level, a base 58 level.
Yeah, it's a good amount of material, and it looks like that she pretty much covers everything that they cover in their actual in-person class.
Yeah, and she said, I believe she was supposed to host tonight, but she got busy, actually writing code for Core Lightning. She's got a day job to do, but she said there will be a new website coming out soon for the classes in October that they're doing. I think they're going to physically do in-person classes in Austin during BitDevs, is what I heard. Don't quote
Oh
me on
yeah,
it,
she
but
mentioned that
Oc-
during LitDevs.
yeah, in October. So
in
if-
October.
So if you have an excuse to come to Austin, come during the week of BitDevs and sign up for the Base 58 class. Website coming soon.
Website
Support
TBD.
Support Lisa Nifty Nay.
I do have one more thing I want to show off because I don't think he got enough attention at BitDevs. And oh man, I have so many tabs open I can't find it anymore. But you can send faxes
Oh yeah.
with Bitcoin.
Faxes are big in Japan, right?
Yeah.
That's what someone said.
So if you go to bitcoinfax.net, that's FAX,
Not FAT.
you can select a PDF and put in a fax number. And I guess they give you an invoice. I don't really have anybody to fax.
Pay it
but-
with Lightning. Does anyone have a fax number out there we can send a fax to over
Yeah,
Lightning?
actually, I do.
Anybody.
So let's see. Who would be an interesting bank? Oh, the World Economic Forum.
Dude,
I wonder
let's
if they have...
find. Does anyone know the World Economic Forum's fax number? And right now, live, we're gonna send them a fax about the Bitcoin white paper. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Just send them the Bitcoin white paper. Dude, let's do it. Let's fucking go. All right, hackers out there, if anyone knows the World Economic Forum's fax number,
I'm
Send
looking
them our
it
way.
up right now.
We might just do this right now, live on air.
IMF
This would be funny.
fax number. I'm
We
gonna
got to
send
do
it
a
to
stunt
IMF
every week.
instead.
Last week, the stunt was Logan eating a hot chip with Tristen, and somehow Super wasn't affected by the hot chip. Just like it was like eating a tortilla chip for him. Like, so apparently, Super's really good at writing apps over a weekend, and he's a professional hot food eater.
Yeah, I wish he was here because he had this like really cool lottery thing that he made.
Oh yeah. He went to go get pizza, even though John brought pizza here. Detroit style pizza, the best kind.
Okay, so apparently I have the fax number of the IMF headquarters in Washington, D.C.
That's good enough, dude. So this is our stunt of the week. We're gonna send a fax to the IMF over
So,
Lightning of the
I'm going
Bitcoin
to
white
choose a
paper.
PDF.
So download the Bitcoin PDF now.
Oh, I already have it on my
Oh,
computer.
he's already got copies.
Duh.
He's like, I edited it. I got scratch. Can we have your notes that you wrote on?
See, there it is.
All right, so
there.
Topher's uploading to the Bitcoin fax website the Bitcoin white paper. He just stuck in the number of the or the IMF's.
Pay now with Bitcoin. Does look like it could be a?
got
Oh, it's a Lightning.
Yeah, it's got to be Lightning.
It says or Lightning,
Lightning.
but I don't see a QR code for that.
Oh, you don't have a wallet you can copy and paste it to? Isn't that the QR code?
They might only have a Bitcoin QR code,
No,
but
it
a
might be
Lightning
one of those
invoice.
new ones where it's like the Bitcoin address, but it falls back to Lightning address. It picks the one you do. What is that called? BIP something? Or?
Yeah, where it's combined.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know,
it's
let me
the
try
combined
it.
one. Try it.
Let me try it. Super hooked me up with some Sats because he's
IMF
using me
is
as
going
an
get a
ATM machine.
Wouldn't that be funny? They just come in Monday and they're like, "What is this? We got a fax. It's the first time in 3 years."
Oh
And
yeah,
then
we're doing this
it's a fucking
at
it's a
the right
fucking-
time on a Friday. Oh, it works.
Oh, let's do it. Let's
$1.36.
$1.36 we're gonna sacrifice to get the word out. They go
Sent.
through?
Yeah, sent just
Did
now.
the website say it? Oh, it paid.
Boom.
All right, so right now over the interwebs, there's a fax machine downloading the Bitcoin PDF white paper. That's telephone lines, even older.
Sweet.
So
So we
we-
just faxed a copy of the Bitcoin white paper
What-
to the IMF headquarters.
What page do you think they're on right now? It's only 8 pages, so it might even be done if they have a fast enough printer.
Yeah. And does it start with the last page or the first page? Like how does
It depends on the printer. If it's a Xerox, they might double print it. If it's the IMF, they're definitely double printing. Got to save on paper. Just jogging. Yeah, they print their own paper with money on. So the
Yeah.
IMF just got the Bitcoin white paper.
BitcoinFax.net.
Stunt
Now
of
we
the week.
can fax bong people.
Do we need to start
using Bitcoin.
thinking of these stunts every week we can do on PBS? At the end of this episode, we got to do a stunt. We got 4 minutes. Do we have to do a voltage ad?
Yeah, we can plug Voltage. Why not? Voltage is awesome.
Voltage.
They keep my node up and running,
Voltage is lit.
which is pretty cool. If you like
Voltage.
like to start a Lightning project,
No, it
consider
actually
using
is good
Voltage.
to get started from scratch. Because
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass setting up a Lightning network and opening channels and getting it,
oh yeah,
image on
and
a
they'll
Raspberry
they'll
Pi.
open a channel with you
Yeah.
so that you can just right off the bat start
Well,
a
it's
Lightning
good,
node.
it's good to
that's
probably have
connected.
2 nodes, right? One running at home that's over Tor, totally private. You don't tell anyone about it. And then if you want a public-facing one where you maybe want an LN URL, like you built
Yeah.
your sats for tips, you want your second node to be known to the world. Like, this is my public IP address. It's on a voltage node, so it doesn't matter. You're already quote-unquote doxing yourself because the public node you want everyone to know about.
Yeah, you're building a Bitcoin business
Yeah.
on Lightning.
So I have 2 nodes, plebs. Private over Tor, and then one public on Voltage. Build a company.
I wish we could look up on Mempool Space like how many nodes are running on.
We've got
Voltage.
the guy who built LN Uptime here. He used you guys. Did you? It's dead, but
Is
like
it?
the code's still out there. So if
That was
if
such a good project though.
so it's open source, right, on GitHub. Yeah, the code's up. So if somebody wants to host LN Uptime, can you? Did you guys use Voltage though? Oh, so yeah, if someone wants to resurrect the project, LN Bits on Git or LN Uptime on GitHub, put it on Voltage. Go.
Yeah, so shout out to Voltage for being awesome, for hosting all of our crazy projects, even the ones that are dead.
And thanks for helping us at hackathons. Like, it's super valuable at hackathons, honestly.
Yeah, just contributing to the community. The guys at Voltage are great.
I guess
Paul is great. He runs the Austin Bitcoin Design Club.
Future Paul, represent. He writes all the wallets for us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All
He's putting in some work for Fetty too.
Yeah, that's super cool. They talked about that a little bit at BitDevs.
Yeah, they're trying to
Fluttermint.
have a working demo of a wallet that uses Minimint.
That'll be fun. And also LN Bits is going to have a different implementation called, like, is it Cashew, I believe.
That plugs into Fedimint stuff.
It's a Chalmain mint. It's not their code, but it's the same idea of a Chalmain mint. On
Oh,
LN
okay.
Bits. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
brand
man,
new,
that'd be
like
really cool.
Cashew, I believe it's called. I think Ben Ark is working on the user interface as an extension in LN Bits. So you'll be able to basically run a Fedimint like Chalmain mint in your LN Bits. From what I see so far, it's very early.
LN Bits is great,
Yeah,
and you know where you can get LN Bits?
Voltage.
On a Voltage node. Yeah,
Mind blown.
comes built in.
All right,
It's
dude.
pretty cool.
I'm ready for a beer.
Yeah, I think it's time to close this out. One more shout out to Super Testnet's workshop tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon,
Be there or be square.
and the Brotilla afterwards.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Get
hit the
some
water.
sun. Wind down your week. Relax.
Yeah,
All right.
I guess that's it.
Bye.
We're out of here.